Hello, hello everyone. This is Kapil Zado and welcome to this webinar of Oracle Database 12c. So we'll start with the first slide. So this is the changed architecture of Oracle 12c. I consider you are knowing some concepts of Oracle 10g and Oracle 11g. So we'll see the main differences of Oracle 11g with Oracle 12c or Oracle 10g with Oracle 12c. So as you can see here in this diagram, so there are a number of pluggable databases. Those can be created inside a main container database. The concept of Oracle 12c, it has largely changed. Initially we had non-CDB databases. So means non-CDB databases means those databases those are not supporting pluggable databases. So in this pluggable database architecture, we'll be having number of pluggable databases and one main container databases. Okay, so you can see here this is PDB1, which is pluggable database 1, which is created inside main container database, and this is PDB2 for example. And PDB1 and PDB2, they are created from one basic seed, which is PDB seed. So each container database will contain basic two databases. One will be main root, and inside root you will be having one default template as PDB seed. So from PDB seed you can create a number of pluggable databases. So changes that the Oracle SGA and background processes will be shared among all pluggable databases, but the main container database will have the system table space, sysocs table space, users table space, temporary table space and undo table space. And the pluggable databases will have separate system, sysocs, users and temp table space. But the change is that undo table space is shared among all entire container databases, means among all pluggable databases. We'll start with the next slide where you'll be able to see the main change. So the main changes with the system data dictionary. Okay, so in earlier old versions in Oracle 10g, in Oracle 11g, we had a data dictionary present inside the system table space. Okay, but in Oracle 12c, the data dictionary is already present inside pluggable database. So we'll be having two separate data dictionaries, one which is present inside pluggable database and one which is present inside basic container database. Okay, so here you can see the change. So this is the system dictionary, which will be part of main container database, and this is user dictionary, which is part of pluggable database. So changes that you'll be having separate data dictionary views, one for pluggable database and one for main container database. Next slide. Initially in old times, for example in Oracle 10g as well as in Oracle 11g, so you can see here non-CDB means normal databases which are Oracle 10g or Oracle 11g databases. So here you can see, for example, it is database 1, it is having separate data dictionary and a separate table space to store user data. Okay, and instance and SGA and background processes are separate in the normal databases. This is the diagram for two databases. For example, in the next diagram, here is the change. So here we are having separate data dictionary views for the pluggable databases as well as the container databases. So container database will contain two databases. One is the main root database. So this root database is having separate data dictionary views, and pluggable database, this is the template of main pluggable database. So from this template you can create a number of pluggable databases. So when you will create container database which is supporting number of pluggable database, you will be having one root, that is the main database, and one basic template, that is the PDB seed. So you can see here this SGA is shared among all pluggable databases and main root database. SGA and background processes are shared, but you will be having multiple pluggable databases. So root and main template will be present initially. So this is called as seed, and main container as root. So from this seed you can create around 252 pluggable databases in the container database, which is supporting pluggable databases. So here it is a DB link. So cross connection with the help of DB link can be done to other pluggable database, PDB1 with the PDB2. So this is shown in this diagram. So if you will fire a dbca command on the Oracle 12c software, you will get this window. So you can see here the create database with default configuration. So global database name we are putting here as a CDB1, and to make the pluggable database inside the container database, you just need to select the next option, which is create as container database with pluggable database. So we are putting here a name as PDB1. So guys, you can see here how to create pluggable database from basic seed, which is the template present inside container database. So when you will create a container database which is supporting pluggable database, kind of thing. Hello. So it is possible with the help of this command. So you need to connect as a sysdba user to this SQL prompt, and on the SQL prompt you just need to fire this command, create pluggable database PDB1, and this is the name of user who will be the main admin user who is going to access pluggable database. So name of user is PDB1 underscore admin, and its password is Oracle underscore for you. Okay, and we are gonna give him one role as connect. Okay, and there is a one parameter which is called as file name convert. Okay, so all the files those are present in PDB seed, you can see here U01 app Oracle Ora data CDB1 PDB seed is the location where all data files are present, which are these all data files are of seed database, which is the basic template for pluggable database. So from this basic template we are creating one pluggable database whose name is PDB1. Okay, so before firing this command you just need to create one directory inside CDB1. So you are gonna fire this command mkdir PDB1 under CDB1 directory. Okay, so file name convert, this parameter is responsible for copying all the files of seed, PDB seed to PDB1. Okay, and basically the seed contains 3 table spaces which are system, sysocs and temporary. Okay, even after creation of PDB1 you can create one separate table space, for example users table space, to store data of users. Okay, so after firing this command you are gonna get one message as pluggable database is created. So you can see here how to unplug PDB from CDB. Now your pluggable database whose name is PDB1 is created. Now to make it unplug means you can take backup of this PDB1 using unplug command, and we'll see how to make it. Okay, so when you will create this PDB1 you need to open this PDB which is in read write mode to read only mode. If you will fire this command alter pluggable database PDB1 unplug into PDB1.xml. Okay, so unplug is always done in a XML file. This command will not work if your pluggable database is in read write mode. Okay, so to make it unplug, first you need to open this pluggable database in read only mode, then only you will be able to fire this command alter pluggable database name unplug into the XML file which is pdb1.xml. Okay, and to drop this pluggable database the command is drop pluggable database name and keep data files, means the logical information of pluggable database will be removed from container database but their data files are present at PDB1 location. So this is the command. Okay, now plug unplugged PDB into container database. So even you can plug in the unplugged PDB back to the container database, and there is one command create pluggable database PDB1 using the same XML file which we have unplugged in the previous command we had seen in the last PPT. Okay, and you will fire this command alter pluggable database name open read write, but you need to log into database with the help of sysdba user only, then only you will be able to fire these commands. The commands like creation of pluggable database as well as the command to make pluggable database open read write. Okay, now we'll see cloning of pluggable database inside the container database, means how to create pluggable database 2 from pluggable database 1. So by default when you will create container database it is gonna contain one root which is the main container and one basic seed template which is responsible for creation of number of pluggable databases. Around 252 pluggable databases can be created in Oracle 12c release 1. Okay, so from seed you can create multiple pluggable databases. So even you can create PDB1 from seed, PDB2 from seed, and the next command is you can create clone from PDB1. So for example in this diagram we are creating PDB2 clone from PDB1. Okay, now first to create clone of PDB2 these are the steps you need to follow. Okay, so first command is just close down this pluggable database 1. So the command is alter pluggable database PDB1 close. So before that you just need to log in with sysdba user. Then after closing this database you need to open this database in read only mode. So alter pluggable database PDB1 open read only. Okay, now you are gonna create pluggable database 2 from pluggable database 1. So you just need to specify the location of files which will be created inside PDB2. So PDB1 for example it is containing following table spaces. So by default PDB1 is created from basic seed. So it is containing system table space, sysocs table space, temporary table space and users table space. Okay, so undo table space is always present inside main container database. So undo table space is shared among all pluggable databases. So you cannot create undo table space separate for pluggable database. It is not possible in Oracle 12c. So SGA, background processes, redo-log buffer, database buffer cache, they all are shared among all pluggable databases. Okay, So to create pluggable database 2 from pluggable database 1, the command is create pluggable database PDB2 from PDB1. So after firing this command, you are going to get one message as pluggable database is created. Now to open pluggable database 2, you need to fire this command alter pluggable database PDB2 open. Okay. For example, you are having two systems. On one system you have installed Oracle 12.1 and next system means another system you have installed Oracle 12.2. Okay, so you can unplug PDB1 of Oracle 12c release 1, and by using unplug command you can unplug into a XML file. For example, that XML file which will be created after firing unplug command is pdb1.xml. Okay. Now, for example, you have logged into Oracle 12c release 2 and you want to import the PDB1 which is unplugged into pdb1.xml to the Oracle 12c release 2. So that unplug and plugging back to Oracle 12c release 2 is possible with the help of plugin command, which we had seen in the last PPT. Now the common and local users. For example, you are having two pluggable databases, which is PDB1 and PDB2, and one basic container database is root. Okay. Now what is mean by common user and what is mean by local user? So common users are the users which are present in main container, which is root, and local users are the users those are present in independent pluggable databases. For example, you can see in this diagram, C ## Zoran is the user which is present in main container database, which is root. So if this user is created in main container database root, so automatically this user will be created in pluggable database 1 as well as pluggable database 2. So C ## is the syntax to create a user which is common among all pluggable databases. Okay. So common users are the users created in root container that have some same identity across all containers. Okay, and local users are the users those are created inside the independent pluggable databases, and they can't be created by root user. Okay, so C ## Zoran is the user which is created inside the main container database, which is present inside pluggable database 1 as well as pluggable database 2. Okay, now we'll see how to create common user. Okay, for example, you are connected as a sysdba. You can see the first diagram, common user created by common user. Connect / as a sysdba is the command, and you are connected with sys user. Now you are gonna create one common user which will be created in all pluggable databases. Okay, now this is the command, create user C ## Zoran identified by password which is Oracle 1, and container is equal to all, means this user will be created among all pluggable databases including the main container database which is root. So by default, when you will fire this command create user, for example C ## king identified by king which is the password, and you will just simply enter semicolon, this user C ## king will be created among all pluggable databases, means by default container is equal to all is there. Even you can forcefully specify container is equal to all. Okay, so by firing this command you will create C ## Zoran user in all pluggable databases. So you can see here in the PDB1 in this diagram C ## Zoran user is automatically created. Okay, now how to connect with this C ## Zoran user? So the command is local user created by common user. So connect C ## Zoran / Oracle 1 is the password of this Zoran user, and @PDB1. So what is the significance of @PDB1? So every pluggable database will have one unique connection string which will be part of TNS names.ora. So with the help of TNS entry only, you will be able to log into pluggable database. If your listener is down, you cannot connect to pluggable database. So this limitation is there. You are having restriction. Your listener must be up and running, and you must have specified TNS entry for pluggable database in TNS names.ora. Okay, so after firing this command C ## Zoran, Yes, Mr. Kunal, you can ask question. Or you can type in question window. So guys, local user can connect to his own pluggable database with the help of connection string only. So C ## Zoran is a common user which has been created inside main container database, and this user can connect to pluggable database. So this is the command you can see in the second window: connect C ## Zoran /oracle1 @pdb1, which is the connection string and which must be specified inside tns names.ora. Okay, and it is mandatory that in the main container database you must use C ## prefix before creating any kind of user. So guys, here we are connected with the help of C ## Zoran user, and this user can create one user inside pluggable database 1. For example, create user mgr identified by oracle1. So we are going to create mgr user whose password is oracle1, and container is equal to current. It means we are creating mgr user inside pluggable database 1. Okay, and by default, even if you will fire directly this command, create user mgr identified by password which is oracle1, it means this user will be created inside pluggable database 1. So you don't need to specify this clause as container is equal to current. So by default it is current. Okay, now we have created this user mgr inside pluggable database 1. Now we'll see how to connect with the help of this user mgr. Okay, now you are going to fire this command: connect mgr / its password which is oracle1 @pdb1, which is the connection string for pluggable database 1. Okay, now even you are connected with mgr user, you can create one more local user inside pluggable database 1, and its command is create user local user _1 identified by password. So by firing this command, again you will be able to create one more user inside pluggable database 1. So this was about common and local users. If you are having questions, you can type questions in the question slides. Okay, I'll go to next slide. Okay, now this was about initially in the last PPT we had seen about how to create users in the container database and in the pluggable database. Now we'll see regarding roles, how roles are created inside container database and inside pluggable database. Okay, so common roles are the roles which are created inside container database. The way, okay, Mr. Atanu, you are having question. Yes, Mr. Atanu, you are right. Your question is that what does it mean by pluggable? Does it mean it's portable or mobility? Yes, Mr. Atanu, pluggable means you can create multiple pluggable databases inside main container databases. there will be only one container database, and inside container database you can create multiple pluggable database. In Oracle 12c release 1, it is possible that you can create 252 pluggable databases. Okay, so when you will create a container database which is able to support pluggable database, by default there will be only one root and only one pluggable database. So from that one pluggable database, which is called as the basic template, you can create multiple pluggable databases, and these pluggable databases can be unplugged and again plugged into another server which is having Oracle 12c release 1 or 2 installed. So they are the portable databases and mobility is possible. It's a nice question. Okay, thank you, Atanu. Mohit, you are having a question? Okay, Mohit is saying that okay. Okay, fine. So the way we can create roles, the way we can create users inside the main container database, you can create roles also. So you can create common roles, means if you will create one role in the basic root, that is container database, that role will be automatically created inside the pluggable databases. For example, we are having two pluggable databases, which is PDB1 and PDB2. So if you will create the role whose name is C ## role1, guys, remember it is mandatory that you have to use this prefix C ## before any role or any user that you are gonna create inside the container database, okay, or container databases of different Oracle 12c servers. Okay, so common roles are the roles created in the container and that exist in all pluggable databases. These roles have the different sets of privileges in the different containers, so that is possible, and one role can be granted to another role or user. So that we'll see how to grant these roles to other roles or other users. And local users are the roles, local roles are the roles which are created inside pluggable databases. For example, PDB1 is having one role which is the local role, which is LOC underscore role1. So this role will be limited to pluggable database 1 only. So this role will not be accessed to other pluggable database or main container database. Similarly, there is a one more role which is LOC underscore local underscore role2, which is part of pluggable database 2. So this role will be accessed inside pluggable database 2 only. Okay, so this role will not be accessed from pluggable database 1 or from main container database, which is the main root container database. Next slide. So guys, here we'll see how to add privileges to common roles as well as local roles. Now to create a role, you just need to fire this command, create role name, and container is equal to all. So guys, container is equal to all is not a mandatory syntax. By default, if you are connected to main root container, so by default it is container is equal to all. So if you will create this role, the command is create role, and C ## is a mandatory prefix before creating role. So name of role is role1 and container is equal to all. So after firing this command, one role will be created in basic container database, which is the root container or the root database. So there are certain privileges which can be granted to role, as you all know. So the command to grant this privilege is grant select any table to this role, which is C ## role1, and container is equal to all. So it is not mandatory to write container is equal to all in the end when you are firing this command on the main root database. There is a one more privilege which we are giving to this role as grant create table to this role as C ## role1. Now this role which is been created inside main root database is created among all other pluggable databases. For example, there is a database whose name is PDB1. So this is the pluggable database. So automatically the role which is created inside the main root container will be created inside pluggable database 1. Okay. So you can see here in the other diagram, in the PDB1 container, you can see the other way. So it is create role name, which is local underscore role1, and container is equal to current. So this command you will be able to fire when you will be able to connect to pluggable database. So it is not mandatory to write container is equal to current, because this local local underscore role1 will be created inside the pluggable database only. Other users will not be able to access local underscore role, which is the part of pluggable database 1. Okay. Now you can give any kind of privileges to this local role, like grant update any table to local underscore role 1, or grant alter user to this is one more role which is present inside the main root container. Now this role is part of this pluggable database 1. Even you can grant alter user to c ## role 1. But guys, remember, this grant alter user to c ## role 1 is limited to pluggable database 1 only. So if you will fire this command, grant alter user to c ## role 1, this privilege will not be given to c ## role which is part of pluggable database 2, or the main container which is root. So this is limited to pluggable database 1 only. Okay. Now you can grant this local underscore role 1, which is a local role, to other role which is c ## role 1, and container is equal to current. It means you can grant role to other role. So as we all know, we can grant roles to other roles. So we are granting local role to the main role which is part of container database, which is c ## role 1. But this local role 1 is part of pluggable database 1 only. So it is limited to pluggable database 1. Okay. Now even you can grant c ## role 1 to local role, which is local role underscore 2. If you will create one more role, that is local underscore role 2, you can grant c # role 1 to any other local role. So it is possible, but these are all limitations, or it is limited to pluggable database only. Next slide. Now guys, we'll see how these users are created inside main container database, and how we can access pluggable database using the main user, which will be created inside the main container, which is the root user. So we are connected as a sysdba user to main container database. Consider we are having two pluggable databases. One is PDB1, PDB2, and basic template, which is the seed template. So we are having one main root, then one basic template, and from basic template we have created two pluggable databases, which is PDB1 and PDB2. Okay. Now first command is create user c ## Zoran identified by Oracle 1, and container is equal to all. So it is not mandatory to write container is equal to all. By default it is all only. So this user will be created automatically inside pluggable database 1 as well as pluggable database 2. Okay. Now these are the privileges which are given to c ## Zoran user. So grant create session, drop any synonym to c ## Zoran, and container is equal to all. Means this c ## Zoran user, which will be present inside PDB1 as well as PDB2, will be having these mandatory privileges, as he will be able to create session as well as he will be able to drop any synonyms from PDB1 as well as PDB2. Okay. Now again, now we'll connect with the help of sys user to PDB1. So the next command is connect user sys, and its password is, for example, Oracle 1 @PDB1 as sysdba. So we are connecting to pluggable database 1 using sysdba privilege. Okay. So you are connected to pluggable database 1, and now you are giving this special grant to c ## Zoran, which is present inside pluggable database 1. Now guys, see the difference. Here you are logged into pluggable database, and now you are giving one privilege, which is drop any table to c ## Zoran user. And here we are assigning container is equal to current. It means we are making these changes inside pluggable database 1. Means drop any privilege will be limited to this user, which is C hash hash Zoran, which is part of pluggable database 1. So this drop any table privilege will not be given to C hash hash Zoran, which is present inside pluggable 2 database as well. Okay. Now here we are connected using C hash hash Zoran user. In the next command you can see connect C hash hash Zoran / password, which is Oracle 1 and @PDB1. Guys, you will think, can we connect directly with the help of this command as in the old times in Oracle 10G as well as in Oracle 11G we used to connect, like connect C hash hash Zoran / its password. Okay, so this direct login is not possible in Oracle 12C, as you need to specify the connection string. So @PDB1 is the connection string which will be present inside tnsnames.ora. It is mandatory to log in with the help of connection string. Otherwise, you cannot log into pluggable database. Okay. Now here we are connected with C hash hash Zoran user and its password is Oracle 1, and we have logged into pluggable database 1. Now you can drop synonym customers _ synonym. So this synonym, for example, it is present inside PDB1, and earlier when you had created C hash hash Zoran user inside main root container, we had given him 2 privileges. One is create session and second one is drop any synonym. So C hash hash Zoran user inside pluggable database 1 will be able to drop any synonym. Okay, so that's why that synonym dropped command it has successfully completed. Now next command is drop table gldb.customers. It means there is a one schema or there is a one user GLDB present inside pluggable database 1, and GLDB schema is containing one table which is customers. So that's why, and here initially, not initially, when we logged into pluggable database 1 as a sysdba, we had given him one special privilege, which is drop any table to C hash hash Zoran, which is part of pluggable database 1. So that's why he is able to drop table, which is gldb.customers. Okay, so drop any table privilege is limited to C hash hash Zoran user, which is part of PDB1 database only. Now we'll connect to other pluggable database, which is PDB2 database, and we are gonna fire this command now, connect C hash hash Zoran user, which is also present inside PDB2 database, and its password is, for example, Oracle 1, and to connect to pluggable database 2 you are gonna use the connection string as PDB2. Okay, now initially when we had created C hash hash Zoran user in main root container, we had given him only 2 privileges, which is create session and drop any synonym. We have not given this privilege as drop any table inside pluggable database 2 to C hash hash Zoran user. So first command is successful because initially when we had created C hash hash Zoran user in main container database, we had given these 2 privileges, which is create session and drop any synonym. That's why the drop synonym, test synonym. So test synonym, for example, if it is present inside pluggable database 2, so that's why it has dropped. But second command, drop table test.a, means there is a user test present inside pluggable database 2 and it is containing one table as A. So this command, it has failed because as sysdba you have not given this privilege drop any table to this user, which is C hash hash Zoran, present in pluggable database 2. So these are the limitations of pluggable database users. Those are present in pluggable databases. Next slide. So we had seen in Oracle 11G, we had one special user present, which is sysasm. Now in Oracle 12C, there are a number of new privileges. Those have come. For example, it is sysbackup. The way we are having sysdba, sysasm, so this is the new privilege, which is sysbackup. So you can connect with the help of sysbackup user by firing this command, connect / as sysbackup. So it is gonna give you message as connected. If you will fire this command, show space user, again it will show you the logged in user is sysbackup. Now to check the kind of privileges those are present inside sysbackup user, by default are, so to check that, we are having this data dictionary view, which is select star from session _ previews. So there are a number of privileges those are present inside sys backup user. So these are the privileges which are displayed on this screen. Sys backup, select any transaction, select any dictionary. Mainly guys, use of sys backup user is to take rman backup. You can take rman backup using sys backup user. So this user is newly present in Oracle 12c. Next user is sysdg user. I think many of you have worked on Oracle Data Guard. So there is a one utility which is called as Data Guard Broker. DGMGRL is the prompt for using Data Guard Broker. So that Data Guard Broker or the Data Guard management can be easily done with the help of sysdg user. So this is a new user which has been present in Oracle 12c. So to connect with the help of sysdg user, this is the command connect / as sysdg, and if you will fire this command show space user, it will show you the status as you have logged in as a sysdg user. Now to check the kind of privileges those are present inside sysdg user, you need to fire this command after connecting as a sysdg. Select star from session underscore previews. So there are a number of privileges which are given to sysdg user, like alter system, alter session, alter database, and select any dictionary. Main use of sysdg user is for data guard and to manage data guard broker commands. The data guard, the way we are having asm cmd prompt, we are having dgmgrl prompt to manage data guard. So this data guard broker is a utility which manages data guard commands or data guard. Next slide. So in Oracle 12c, this is the new feature which has been provided, which is called as invisible columns. So here, for example, we are gonna create one table whose name is T, and we are using only one column inside this table as a column, and its data type is integer. So after firing this command, you will get message as table is created. If you will describe this table T, it will show you that there is only one column present inside this table, and that column is A. Okay, and now we'll insert one more record in this table, and for example, we have inserted value as 1. Now only one value is been inserted inside this table. Now how to create invisible column inside this table? So this is the best feature which has been provided by Oracle 12c. You can create invisible columns inside the table, and to create that, to alter that table, we are having this command alter table name, and the column name is B, and its data type is integer, and after that you just need to specify one clause as invisible, so that this table will be created with invisible columns. So after firing this command alter table add B integer invisible, add means we are adding one more column to existing table. Okay, and after firing this command semicolon, so if you will fire describe T, so you will not be able to see the invisible column which is B, which is present inside this table T. Okay, so if you will fire this command describe T, you will not be able to see the invisible column. And if you will fire this command select start from T, it will show you the only one record, which is 1, which we had inserted earlier when we had created table T. Now how to see this invisible column, that we will see in the next slide. Now even you can insert data directly inside this table, which is insert into table T A comma B, and we are putting these two values. First one is 3 and second one is 5 inside this table which is T. So table T is containing two columns, one is A, second one is B. So now these values can be checked if you will fire this command select star from T. Now to see this column, we are having this command alter table T modify B, and after that you just need to specify one clause as visible. So if you will fire this command, you will be able to see this column when you will fire this command describe T. So when you will describe the table which is T, you will be able to see this visible column which is B. So both these columns are visible. चालू है ना? Guys, wait. I think slides, they have been stuck. Uh, I think I'll repeat this invisible column slides. Uh, Mohit is saying that we had stuck at roles only. Okay, Mohit, I'll repeat invisible column slides once again. Okay, so we are having this table whose name is T, and which is containing only one column, which is A, and its data type is integer. And if you will fire this command describe T, it is gonna show you that you are having only one column, which is A, and its data type is integer. Okay, now we'll insert one value inside this table. Insert into this table values 1. So we have inserted one value as 1, and to add invisible column to this existing table, we are having this command alter table add, and the column which we are gonna insert is B. Its data type is integer, and it is mandatory that you must use invisible clause when you will create a invisible column. And if you will fire this command describe T, you will not be able to see the second column, which is B, which is present inside table T, because we had specified this clause as invisible. And if you will fire this command select star from T, you will be able to see only one record which is been inserted. Now we will insert one more record. In the next slide we will see that. So here we are inserting these two values 3 and 5 inside column A and column B. So when you will insert it, insert into T A comma B values 3 comma 5. So it is going to give you message as one row is inserted. Now if you will fire this command select first column comma second column from T, it is going to show you these two columns. Okay. Now if you will make it, if you want to check, if you will fire this command alter table T modify B visible, now it is gonna give you message that table is altered. And if you will fire this command describe space table name, so here the description of the invisible column will be displayed on user screen, which initially it was not showing when you were firing describe space table name command. So describe space table name command will show the invisible column when you will fire this command alter table name modify the name of column and visible. Okay, Mohit, I think I have repeated this slide. So if guys you are having questions, we can discuss now. Okay, Kunal, I think I had answered this question initially. So that question was, what is the basic difference between the pluggable and main container? And the difference is that in the container database, it is the main database which will be having separate system table space, sysocs table space, undo table space, and main users table space. Okay, so this is the main root container. Okay. I am asked, so Kunal, the main container will have separate system, sysocs, undo, temporary table space, and users table space. And the pluggable database, they will have separate system, sysocs, temporary table space, and users table space. But undo table space is still shared among all pluggable databases. Undo table space is still shared among all table spaces. All databases. So you cannot have separate undo table space for individual pluggable database, which is not possible in Oracle 12c. You will be having a shared SGA, you will be having shared redo-log buffer. So these things are common, but the main difference is that you will be having separate system, sysocs, temporary table space, and users table space among all other pluggable databases. Mohit, your question is what redo-log files they are shared also. Redo-log files and redo-log buffer, it is shared among all pluggable databases. Okay, so user or the pluggable database, for example, any user which is connected to pluggable database. For example, we are having, Mohit, if we are having two pluggable databases, pluggable database 1 and pluggable database 2. Okay, and user is connected to pluggable database 1, so he will be able to use all redo-log groups which are present inside the main container database, as redo-log buffer as well as redo-log groups are shared among all pluggable databases. I think I have answered your question. Okay, Mohit, your question is, Rohit, your question is what is main use of invisible columns? I think if you just want to specify the column which is present inside the main table, so that is the new feature provided by Oracle 12c. You can create invisible columns. Even you can have multiple indexes created on single column. So these are the new features which are provided by Oracle 12c. Okay, Kunal, any specific reason for? See, Kunal, your question is why it is undo table space is shared. This is the Oracle architecture they have made, Kunal. They have not shared undo table space among pluggable databases. They have made it global, means all pluggable databases they are gonna use same undo table space. So earlier also it was not possible in Oracle 10G as well as in Oracle 11G. We had a separate undo table space for all users or schemas, and this is the same. They have kept it same. We are having same undo table space which is shared among all pluggable databases. There is a question from Lenka. Could you please show pluggable database architecture? Okay, I'll show it. Yes, this is the pluggable database architecture. I'll use Spotlight. So guys, this is the main database, for example. So it is container database, and we are having multiple pluggable databases inside this database. So by default, guys, we'll be having one root, which is the main container, and we'll be having one basic template, which is the template for creation of multiple pluggable databases. So this is the PDB seed I'm highlighting here. So PDB $seed is the basic template for pluggable database creation. So when you will create a container database which is supporting pluggable database, you will be having the main container database, and you will be having only one PDB $seed, which is the basic template. So you can see here PDB $seed by default, it is having system, sysocs, and temporary table space. Okay, so by default, okay, I'll enlarge it. Wait. Okay, guys, I think now you'll be able to see it clearly. Okay, so guys, this is the architecture of main container database. So container, when you will create a database which is supporting pluggable database. So the database which is supporting pluggable database is called as CDB, means container database. And by default, when you will create a container database, it will be having only one basic template which is called as PDB $seed, and this basic template will contain three table spaces. These table spaces are system, sysocs, and temp. So by using this pluggable database template, you can create around 252 pluggable databases. So for example, it is pluggable database 1. So pluggable database 1 will be created from this PDB $seed. So pluggable database 1 will contain system, sysocs, and temp. So these three table spaces will be created from basic PDB $seed. And users table space later on, after creation of PDB1 pluggable database, you can create this users table space to store users data. Okay. Now you can create multiple pluggable databases, as you can see here, PDB container N. So multiple pluggable databases can be created, and its maximum range is 252, excluding the main PDB $seed. And as you can see here, background processes and SGA is shared among all pluggable databases as well as main container databases. Now these are the table spaces which are part of main container databases as system, sysocs, users, temporary, and undo. As you can see here, undo table space is present inside container database only. Undo table space cannot be created inside pluggable database. Okay, then redo log files and control file, these are part of main container database only. Okay, so these files will be shared among all pluggable databases, and flashback archives and redo and archives files, those will be created separately from container database only. I think I have answered this question. Okay, Soumya, thank you. Mohit, your question is, can we have different initialization parameters for different PDBs? No, Mohit, we cannot have different parameters for different PDBs. We will be having only one initialization parameter file, that is called as P file. You will be able to create only one SP file from that parameter file. But there are two special parameters, those you need to mention inside parameter file. And these two special parameters are, one parameter is, you just need to specify enable pluggable database, enable underscore pluggable underscore database is equal to true. So this parameter you must mention inside parameter file so that the database will be able to create pluggable databases. And second parameter that you need to specify is PDB underscore file underscore name underscore convert. So this parameter will be able to copy files, those are present in main container database, to pluggable database. So you cannot have separate parameter file for pluggable database. Mohit, I think I have answered your question. Yes, Mohit, you are right. This is a dynamic parameter. You can change this parameter by using alter system command dynamically. Also, you can specify the location of pluggable database which you are gonna create from main template, which will be present inside container database. So dynamically this parameter can be set, or if you don't want to set this parameter dynamically, you can use alter system command, or you can put that entry in parameter file. Yes, Kunal, you are right. You can unplug the pluggable database from one container database, and you can plug that unplugged PDB database to another container database. It is possible with the help of unplug command. Even if you are having two two separate servers. On one machine you are having Oracle 12c release 1 installed, and on second machine you are having Oracle 12c release 2 installed. If you will unplug one pluggable database from Oracle 12c release 1, and you can plug that unplugged pluggable database to another machine which is having Oracle 12c release 2 installed. So this is unplug and plug is possible in Oracle 12c. Kunal, I think I have answered your question. Okay, Kunal, there are data dictionary views. Kunal, your question is how container will come to know about pluggable databases. There are a number of data dictionary views like CDB underscore PDBs, then $PDBs. So these are the data dictionary views. After firing this command, select star from CDB underscore PDBs, you will come to know the list of all pluggable databases which are present in container database. Kunal, I think I have answered your question. Okay, Kunal, there is a command to register that database into another container database, and that command is the alter database plug command. We had seen this command. I'll show you this command. Kunal, I'll show you this command. Okay, Kunal, so by firing this command, alter pluggable database PDB1 unplug into PDB1.xml. Okay, so after firing this command, this PDB1 database, which is part of container database, will be unplugged into a XML file, which is PDB1.xml. Now you can attach this XML file to any other container database, for example, which is having Oracle 12c release 2, and you can install it there. So unplugging and plugging it into another container database is possible. So here you can see, Kunal, this is the command create pluggable database PDB1 using the XML file which we had seen in the previous PPT. I think I have answered your question, Kunal. Okay. Guys, is there any question? Okay, Mohit, you want me to repeat? I think I had answered that question. Okay, Mohit, your question is regarding common role and common user. Okay, so common role and common user will be created inside main root database or main container database. Okay, so when you will create that user, for example, name of user is C ## Mohit. So this user is created inside main container database. Okay, so automatically when if you will give this kind of grant, for example, create any synonym or drop any synonym to this user Mohit, so this user Mohit will be able to will be having these kind of privileges, and this user c hash hash Mohit will be created in another pluggable database. For example, you are having pluggable database 1 and pluggable database 2. So this user c hash hash Mohit will be created inside pluggable database 1 as well as pluggable database 2, and will be having only these privileges which are being given by sys user when this user was being created inside main root database. Mohit, I think I have answered your question. If you are having a question, again ask me. Mohit. ते झालं ना. कुठे यार कुठे कुठे नाही आले काय अरे वरचे लेटेस्ट क्वेश्चन्स दे आर okay. Mr. Lenka, yes, you can remove pluggable database. I'll show you the PPT how to remove pluggable database. Yes, Mr. Lenka, this is the command to remove pluggable database. But first, when you want to remove this pluggable database, it is mandatory that you need to fire this command open read only. Otherwise, it will give you error that you cannot unplug this pluggable database. So these are the steps which need to be fired sequentially. First, the pluggable database which is in read write mode will be first made as read only, and after firing this command, you just need to fire this command alter pluggable database pdb1 unplug into a XML file. So by firing this command, this pluggable database 1 will be completely removed from the main container database. And to drop pluggable database, this is the command: drop pluggable database, database name, and keep data files. Okay. Now you'll be having question, if you will remove this pluggable database which is unplugged, how to plug it to any other server. And we are having, I'll show you the next slide. Now in this command, you can see we are creating pluggable database from existing this XML file. Okay, so this is the old XML file pdb1.xml, and we are creating new pluggable database using same XML file. So plugging and unplugging is possible. Okay, so Soumya, I think I have answered your question. List either. Okay, Mohit, you are having this question. If we have a common role or user in the pluggable database and we move that to different container database, will those users and roles will be also be moved? So this moving roles from one pluggable database to other pluggable database is not possible, but cloning at pluggable database is possible. You can create another pluggable database from one pluggable database. Means you can create pluggable database 2 from pluggable database 1. So that users and roles, they cannot be independently copied to another pluggable database. It is not possible. Mohit, I think I have answered your question. झालं ना तो. See Mohit, when you will create a user inside container database, for example, it is king user which is been created inside the container database. So automatically this user will be created inside other pluggable databases. Okay, and for example, you have given a few privileges to this main user. Mohit, I'll share you the slide of roles and privileges. I think you'll be clear with the concepts. Okay, so Mohit, can you see this window? So here we are having one user. For example, if I'll create one user inside main container database as c hash hash Mohit, and if I'll give him few privileges like drop any synonym, drop any table, or create session. So these privileges, if we will give to c hash hash Mohit user, which is present in main user, which is called as a common user. Okay, so automatically in all pluggable databases, c hash hash Mohit will have these privileges by default. Okay, but later on, as these will be the different users, those will be created in the other pluggable databases also. It means c hash hash Mohit user will be present in main container database as well as in other pluggable databases. Okay, so this user in the pluggable database 1, if you will log in to c hash hash, or if you will log in as a sysdba user to pluggable database 1, and you will give one special privilege which was not given earlier when this c hash hash Mohit user was created in main common database, but this privilege is now given inside pluggable database 1. And for example, this privilege is drop any table. So this drop any table privilege which is given to this common user c hash hash Mohit will be present in pluggable database 1 only. So this privilege will not be given to c hash hash Zoran user which is present in pluggable database 2, or the common user which is present in basic root container. I think Mohit, I have answered your question, and you cannot migrate these users to other container databases, but you can make clone from one machine to other machine using dblink. Mohit, I think I have answered your question. Kunal, your question is? Kunal, when you create XML file to unplug any database, does it have all the data in data file? Actually, it is gonna contain the basic structure. I think I have answered your question, Kunal. Okay, Atanu, your question is container database means Atanu, it is a main database which will be containing number of multiple pluggable databases. For example, Atanu, you are having a company and you are having multiple departments in your company. For example, you will be having HR department, marketing department, sales department. So you will be able to create different databases for each different department. Means HR will be having one different database which will be called as pluggable database 1. Marketing department will be having separate pluggable database which will be have pluggable database 2, and sales department will be having another database as pluggable database 3. So you will be having multiple pluggable databases, but you cannot have multiple container databases. So main container database will be only one, and pluggable database will be multiple pluggable databases can be created inside main container databases. So you cannot create multiple container databases. And main container database will be having separate system, sysocs, undo table space, users table space. So it will act as a different database. It is possible to store data in main container database. And you cannot have more than one container in Oracle 12c. Atanu, I think I have answered your question. Stop karo. Okay guys, so this is the end of presentation. Thank you. नहीं ठीक है।